Hey there, YouTube world. Lone Moose here. Getting ready to make some beef jerky today. I hope you all watched my video on doing the deer jerky, which is going to be pretty similar. I'm going to be using my High Mountain jerky kit here, which is the High Mountain cutting board and High Mountain jerky knife. I'm going to be using a mix this time of the High Mountain original seasoning along with the High Mountain cracked black pepper and garlic. I always get tongue twisted on that. I've got probably about 5 pounds of sirloin here. Came from Costco. So I'll be cutting up and trimming that. I won't make you guys watch all of that. Just a little bit. Once I get some of it trimmed, I'll show you how it works with the jerky board. And excuse me. Then I will come back to you when it's time to season it up, weigh it, and get it in the refrigerator so it starts marinating. What I'm going to do different this time over what I have done before I use the dehydrator. This time I'm going to actually smoke the jerky to dry it in my gas smoker. So stay with me, folks. I hope you enjoy and learn a little something. From the people who did get to sample the deer jerky, everyone really liked it. I've been making beef and deer jerky for 30 plus years, and I have yet to have one complaint. It really comes out good. The High Mountain product, and I have no sponsorship agreement with them whatsoever. I just like their products. They've always done well by me. So I'll put some links below in the comments on where to find this stuff. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you. Alright folks, I have done the first initial trims on this, and I'll let you watch using the jerky board here to slice up this first piece, how this works. Again, the jerky board itself has two sides. A thinner side, which is what I'm using, about 1/4 inch, and then the other side is probably 5/16, so you get a little thicker slices. I like this size right here. Put your meat on here, put the board on top, use your jerky knife and the top of the board as your knife guide. Run it through your meat. You come up with a nice slice about like this. This top sirloin makes a pretty good jerky. You do have to trim it a little more as you go. You see some of the fat and connective tissue in there that as I go through the slicing process, I'll cut that out. It doesn't dry well, and it makes jerky extremely chewy, and I personally like something that's a little more palatable. And then when you get your sliced meat, basically take and cut it in the width strips that you want, like this. And I throw it into my bucket. I'll do one more here. You see a little bit more of the trimming where it's got that part right there. Just cut that off. That goes to the trash. Cut her down. And that's how you do it. So I'll come back to you after I get all the rest of this sliced up, trimmed up, so you don't have to sit through all of that. I've got all my jerky sliced up, and I've weighed it. I'll attach a photo of the scale, but it's 3 pounds of meat. Now I wanted to show you what comes in the High Mountain jerky kits. And basically, this is the original seasoning. It comes with a pack of seasoning, a pack of cure, and a little shaker bottle. I rarely use a shaker bottle. And then there's an instruction card in each one. And let's see if I can zoom in on this, where it will show you for the 3 pounds of muscle meat, it takes 2 tablespoons, 1.5 teaspoons of the seasoning, and 2 tablespoons of the cure. Now, if you remember, I said I'm going to mix up the original blend with the cracked black pepper and garlic. So the amount of cure remains the same, 2 tablespoons. And so instead of using 2 tablespoons, 1.5 teaspoons of one or the other, I think what I'm going to do is use 1 tablespoon, 1.5 teaspoons of the original, and 1 tablespoon of the cracked black pepper and garlic. So it won't be quite so peppery and have such an overpowering garlic taste. It's good, but I'm going to try and see how the mix comes out. So once I get this mixed up and ready to season, then I'll come back and show you the actual process of seasoning it, how you mix it all together, and then it goes in the refrigerator for at least 24 hours. Okay, Moose fans, here's all of the top sirloin sliced up, ready to go. And here is my seasoning mix, as I mentioned how I was going to, the ratios. Part of the original seasoning and part cracked black pepper and garlic. And I added just a little bit extra coarse ground black pepper to it because I like the peppery taste when it sticks to it. So essentially the way that this works, shake a little bit in. You can tell I'm not left-handed. And then just mix. There's no easy way to do this. I found that this way works. And you shake a little more. And what I'm going to do with it when I get all of the marinade, or the rub in here, whatever you want to call it, cured, then I'm going to put it in double Ziploc bag and it goes in the refrigerator. And it will sit in the refrigerator for at least 24 hours. And in that time, then I'll figure out what kind of wood I want to smoke it with. And so you can kind of mop it around in here. Make sure that you get all the pieces covered, because what the cure is going to do, 2 things. It will start drawing the moisture out of here, number 1, and number 2, the cure's whole purpose in life is to kill bacteria. You know, once the jerky is dried, it's pretty much bulletproof at that time. Now what I do is I take and put it in small freezer bags and seal them up in my vacuum sealer and then freeze them. Because what I have noticed over time, and it doesn't matter if it's, I've done it with deer, I've done it with beef, I've done it with turkey, and I still get the same thing that happens if you leave it for several weeks to a couple of months, is it'll almost get a mold-like substance on it. So if I keep it frozen, and you know, just a small amount, so if I'm going fishing or on a road trip, or just hanging around and having it for snacks during the day, when I'm working, you know, little bits at a time, then it lasts a lot longer. So that's a tip that you guys might want to stick in the back of your heads, is freeze it when you're done. I'm debating on either smoking it with some mesquite or some pecan or oak or some combination of all of those. I'll have to check my little stash down here under the table for wood chips and see what I've got. But when I get ready to smoke it, either tomorrow or Friday morning, then we'll all know what kind of wood it is that I'm going to use. I hope you guys are learning something from this, and once it sits in the fridge for at least 24 hours, I'll see you again. Good afternoon, YouTube world. The beef jerky has been in its cure for 24 hours now. I'm getting ready to put it on the smoker trays here, and then take it out to my old Smoke Hollow gas smoker. That Smoke Hollow, I actually bought at Gander Mountain years and years ago, back when I still lived in Maryland. And in fact, at that time, they were made by Masterbuilt for Smoke Hollow to be sold under that label. So that's why in some of my videos I keep referring to it as a Masterbuilt. That's who really made it. One thing I'd like to point out to you guys, I use this quite a bit. This it's a big plastic sink. It's like 40 inches across by 18 to 20 inches deep. I got this thing at Home Depot. In fact, I had one of these at the house in Maryland when I was brewing, and I used this for years and years when I was brewing here until celiac came along and I can't have beer anymore. But I still use it for my smoking and stuff. And when you've got big smoker grates like this and you want to clean these, I mean, something like this, just, you can't beat it. And if you guys that are going to be doing any amount of smoking, or if you want to get into brewing or, you know, wine making, doing anything like that, invest a couple $100 and get you a sink like this. You know, if you live in parts of the country where you can process your own game meat, this is a great area for cleaning up stuff after you're done. I've got a 4-foot long nylon cutting board, and it's a breeze to clean up in here. So, you know, just a little tidbit, a little tip that you might want to think about. You know, I bought the faucets up here on the wall, and the water lines actually run down. So I've got this up high and then an extra hose on it, so I can move it around to all different kinds of locations. But like I said, I got that at Home Depot here in Bulverde, Texas. Yeah, I bought one for some remodeling I was doing back in West Virginia when I was thinking about doing some brewing back there. You can't go wrong with something like this. It's $200 well spent. I'm going to go ahead and put the jerky, the beef jerky, out here on the smoker grate, stretch it all out. Actually, before I do that, I just forgot a very important part of this process that needs to happen if you're doing any kind of smoking. This is kind of one of those things I've just recently learned about. That, okay, I've been doing this for 30 years, but never done. But Pam or some kind of cooking spray on your cooking grate before you put your meat on it, it won't stick. So it really is worth, you know, the extra minute here. That I'm just glad I thought about it before I got everything in place. So just spray it down. Now I can go ahead and put the meat out on here. I'm going to be trying to run the smoker at about 180 degrees. I've only got one burner on instead of two. You know, as hot as it gets here in Texas, it's really hard to hold the temperature down below 200 degrees under any circumstances. So, but you don't want to get much more than that, otherwise you're going to bake your meat instead of just drying it out. I made my decision this morning, and I'm going with all mesquite wood. Soaked the mesquite chips in water for about an hour, and right now I've got the smoker heating up, getting ready to go. As soon as I get the meat ready here, I'll take it out and put it on there. Now I'm only using one temperature probe today, and that's a temperature probe for the smoker. I mean, there's no real way of putting a temperature probe in pieces of jerky like this. The main thing is I need to know how the temperature goes. Now I only have smoked jerky once before, when I lived in Utah, and was, you know, kind of a first try at it. And I thought, hey, cool, I found some maple smoking wood, and I thought that would be really cool, do something different. Wrong answer. what it ended up being was beef jerky that tasted like maple bacon. It really wasn't very good. So, choose your woods wisely because they do impart a lot of flavor to your meats when you smoke them. From what my research, it should take anywhere from 2 to maybe 3 hours to smoke a batch at the 180 to 200 degree range. I'll be keeping an eye on it as I'm working today. So you get the idea of how this goes. I will get all the rest of it loaded up, and then I'll meet you out at the smoker when I get ready to put these trays in. Okay, folks, I have 2 racks of jerky in here, getting ready to button up the smoker. It was sitting at about 176 degrees when I opened it up, so hopefully it'll stay in that range, less than 200. I will set my timer at an hour and come back and check it then. Like I said, I'm guessing about 2 hours total to do this. We shall see. I will keep you posted at the next check-in. I hope everyone has a good day, and I will talk to you at the next check-in. Alright, we are at the 1 hour mark right now, and if you can see, the jerky here is still spongy. It's got more time to go. It was 198 degrees before I opened the cabinet. Got still a little bit of mesquite smoke going on. I'm going to button it up, check it back in about 45 minutes to an hour. Hey there, Moose fans. I've got some jerky that's done now. It actually ended up taking 3 hours, so I'm going to pull this off the smoker right now. The temperature was 207 when I opened the door. Like I said, it's really hard to keep the temperature down being out here in Texas. So I'm going to take this off, take it inside and let it cool, put the rest of the jerky on for the next round, and then get that in the smoker. So I hope you're enjoying this so far. Hey there, Moose Tube World. This is Bill again. I finished up the jerky, the beef jerky, and so I wanted to give you kind of a little bit of a closeout for it here. I ended up with about 1 3/4 pounds total. It's been taste tested, and so far everyone who has tasted it said this is probably the best I've ever done. If you remember, this was a mix of the High Mountain cracked black pepper and garlic along with the High Mountain original blend. And I mean, it's really good. I added a little extra pepper to it because I like the pepper bite. But if you can see, nice, it cracks just about right. It's not totally dried out, not overly chewy, but not overly crunchy at the same time. I mean, this is perfect as far as I'm concerned. Second, I'll show you the taste test on it, and we'll wrap this up. So I hope you guys are enjoying this ungodly hot spring, at least it is down here in Texas, and be back in a minute. Alrighty, boosters, here we go. One of my co-workers has suggested I should do like the TV chefs do, and at the end of the videos, at least the cooking and smoking ones, do the taste test. So this is one of the pieces of the beef jerky that I recently made. It's not overly dried out, but it's not too chewy either. It's got about the right amount of the cracked black pepper and garlic to it versus the original mix, which is a little more salty but not as flavorful. I found that if I use the cracked black pepper and garlic at the percentage ratio that it shows in the box, it comes across as too strong, at least for my taste. And if you remember what I've said in all my videos, you cook, you smoke, you do things the way that you, your friends, and your family want to eat it. Don't worry about this competition stuff. That's not real cooking. Okay? Anybody can cook. Think of the old movie Ratatouille. It's really good. I added a little extra black pepper to it when I made my mix of seasonings. So I get a little bit of the extra pepper bite, and I like that. But too much garlic just doesn't work for me. If you're a person who likes the strong garlic taste, go with the full percentage it shows on the instructions. Do it the way you want to do it. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Forward it to your friends. Let them look at it. Ask them to like and subscribe as well. That keeps me motivated to continue making more videos. I hope everyone has a good, what is today? Tuesday afternoon? Wednesday afternoon? Working from home, I lose track of the days sometimes. And stay safe out there in this COVID world. The number of cases are going up dramatically in a lot of areas. Please take the advice seriously about masks, hand sanitizer, washing your hands frequently, keep your hands away from your face, and stay out of overly crowded areas. I don't want to lose any of you guys. So stay safe out there, and I'll see you on the next video.